Hey, welcome to What Do You Think of This, where we are revisiting the best things from our past to let you know whether they're the best things for your future. I'm Jeff Abiad. This is Josue Escobar.
What's up, everybody?
We have a special topic today. It is the movie Cool Runnings, so we have a special guest.
Our very own Kayla Neal.
Hello. And the crowd goes wild.
It's been a long time coming.
The crowd, a party of one.
Now, we've been talking about doing this movie for a while.
Yes.
And ever since Josue mentioned that you were interested, Kayla, in talking about Cool Runnings because you have a deep history.
So, yes.
Okay. So
we go way back.
We're starting this podcast, and one of the very first movies suggestions was Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Right? From Kayla. Like back in when we started.
A year ago almost.
A year ago. And we're like, yeah, okay, so we need to we're going through other stuff and whatever feels natural. And then we were just like, bump it. Let's just talk about a Winter Olympic game and people from Jamaica just randomly after we did our epic summer movies.
I just never thought you would actually say yes.
I totally wanted to. It's just like, when is it right time? And we're like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just do it.
It's always the right time.
Before we talk about it, I have two questions for you. One, Josue told me I have to ask about hot yoga.
Okay.
Oh gosh, yes.
He said there was a story, it involved puddles, and he didn't like it, but apparently you're an expert.
I like to think that I'm an expert.
Okay.
So I have taken over 600.
Stop. Okay, that's a lot.
Straight up yoga, like hot yoga classes. And they have weights and like whatever. It's like over the course of a couple of years. So it's not like that crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't in a
but
week.
It's a body pump class, but you're at like 102
it's
degrees.
It's heated. It's not 102 degrees. Josue. So I brought Josue and a couple of other coworkers of ours.
David Green, who we had on the podcast.
David Green, who was here. And they're just talking, he particularly is talking a big game. Josue's a little bit older, a little bit wiser. So he was not talking as big of a game. But as soon as they got in there, they start complaining, but like audibly. Like this is not like internal, like, oh, I know them, so I know they're complaining. This is like the instructor's like, how are we doing? And they're like, we're dying. And I'm like, I have to go here. Like, can you not?
Don't embarrass me in front of my friends.
I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I couldn't go to her class for a couple weeks.
Wow.
He stayed in the room the whole time though, which was impressive.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I did stop in the middle of it. At one point.
Did you slip and fall?
No.
No.
I realized I was a grown man and I have bodily autonomy. And I'm like, I don't enjoy this right now. So I'm just going to stop and take a break.
It was a very empowering experience.
My stomach was telling me, oh yeah, we need to just throw up right now.
Yeah.
And my brain was saying, no, you can't do that here.
Okay.
And so then my heart said,
listen to your heart.
My heart said, you can stop.
Yeah.
No one's going to care that you stop.
I see pride. I see power. Yeah. I'm out. I am out. No, well, my question is why 600? Like what got you into this and why are you hooked now?
Yeah.
You just feel great afterwards.
Yeah.
You feel like you accomplished something like actually meaningful and you feel good.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, I want to be the person that like when I'm a grandma that I can still like run around with kids and like I never want to lose my mobility.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a history of back issues, old man problems. We've had a lot of stories on this podcast, but so because of that, I've done a little bit of yoga.
Let's go, brother.
Apple TV Plus or whatever, Apple Exercise, they have this lady, Maggie. I think her name is Maggie. She's a sweet old lady that leads the yoga classes, and she's my favorite person on Apple Fitness. So I can follow her lead. And then because last year, I was telling Josue last week, we went to Florida. I threw out my back, picking up my niece. It was a great time. No. And so my brother took me to a hot yoga class in Tampa. And it was the first hot yoga class I'd ever been to. And it was hot. But I actually really enjoyed it. And I love the vibe of the people in there. Yeah. Because they all know each other. They're super friendly. Yeah. And even the instructors coming around, it's like, she just help you out. And I feel like all of a sudden I'm like 3 years old. I'm like, this lady is just so kind and supportive. But I'm like, I need you in my life. I like it. Oh, it was a good experience.
Good for you for trying it.
Yeah. I'd do it again. Maybe not right now. But
yeah.
I think I would. Let's go, guys.
It's an open door. Okay, anytime that you want to come back, you can come.
Yo, I thought about it. I'd rather lift weights.
I feel like lifting weights is easier.
Ooh, it's a little easier, yes.
Well, y'all,
The soreness is different.
The soreness is different, but this is the thing about lifting weights.
I will say I did feel good after the hot yoga thing. The next day and the other day, the day after that, I'm like, oh wow, this more a little more energy, better sleep for sure. I would recommend, highly recommend. You got to get used to the heat. Is something you got to get used to. I think that's it. Once you get used to that, I think it gets easier. To be honest, but I like lifting weights.
The thing about lifting weights, and maybe this is just the people that I've been around, you lift weights for like 30 seconds and then you just rest in the gym. You just like walk around, you chit chat, you're gossiping around with everybody for like the next 10 minutes. And then you do 30 minutes of exertion and then like another 10 minutes. And I'm like, let's go. And David Green's like, no, I gotta relax. And I'm like, it's not even getting my heart rate up. Like, what are we doing here?
So fun. Well, it's good because he's trying to build muscle, not like cut muscle and calories. He's trying to intake as many calories so he could build more muscle
At the time.
It's different. It's a different exercise thing.
Okay, well,
but, yeah.
So then that leads me to my second question.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
shocking.
If you were competing in the Olympics, okay, or anything competitive, but let's say Olympics for now, and your main thing gets axed, like this movie.
Oh my gosh.
You don't get to do it. So now you have 6 months to learn something else and actually have a legitimate chance. What's it going to be?
Well, first of all, I would have no legitimate chance even at the thing that I am really, really good at. So
what is the thing you're really, really good at?
I mean, I guess it would have to be yoga, but that's not an Olympic sport. So
It's not.
I would probably say for me, it would be swimming.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what the divisions are of
There's a lot. Were you going to be like one quick shot, like right across the pool, or are you in for endurance?
No, endurance.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is because I'm a singer. So my lung capacity, pretty good.
Okay.
I love the water. Like, I feel like I'm pretty strong. And I feel like I could do a mediocre job enough to be Olympic adjacent.
So she's saying synchronized swimming.
That's a different
It's also with a team, right? A group. She's really good with teams.
Because I was having this conversation with Lucy last night, and we were talking about it and had the same conversation. Like, okay, I'm not going to compete in any sport, but if my main thing, I had to not do it in the Summer Olympics, you'd have to figure out a winter sport. And then that made it harder because we're like, what are winter sports?
A winter sport?
Well, I mean, because you got skiing and skating and sledding. Is that it? Besides the biathlon?
No, there has to be more.
That's what I said, but we really couldn't think of anything else. Curling.
Curling, that's right.
I would do figure skating.
Do you think you could actually be competitive?
I couldn't do that.
No. But out of all of those options, that's the one that actually sounds fun.
Wait, how long did they have from...
Well, in the case of Cool Runnings, the Olympics were in the same year, so it was summer, winter. So 6 months?
They had 6 months,
6 to 8 months or something like
get
that.
ready.
Which
trials.
is wild.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. At least we would
Did
get
it
2
happen
years.
that way in real life?
We can talk about it in a minute.
No, dude, that's a crazy... Yeah.
Okay, well, so Josue, okay, your skill, sound engineering, say, would you say like that's your primary, like if you're like my number one skill, if I was going to compete in something in life, is that what it would be?
Oh, dude. I guess.
So
I mean, I've done mixing challenges like online with other people and stuff like that.
So you're gearing up for mixing challenges. Somebody trips and spills coffee on your board. You lose your chance, but you have to do something similar. What's the next best thing?
Lighting challenge, a lighting board operator.
Yeah, but you can't. That's the same Olympic event, you see? So I don't know what the equivalent is of winter sound mixing.
Outdoor.
Yes, outside.
What's the
We just move straight to archery.
Archery. There you go. I don't know. It's completely different.
Yeah. Well,
What kind of transferable skills do you have? Because at least in bobsledding, like they're good at it because they're runners, so they're pushing off like lightning
I think
speed.
it's hyper focused, precise execution. You know what I'm saying?
okay. Okay.
I'm just making it up right now.
Believe it.
I don't know why I went there.
What about what was
is the
your answer?
equivalent?
Well, as far as sports go, it feels curling was the one that we talked about because I thought I could do that. I played shuffleboard, I could get into that,
played
and I think I could compete.
Every Olympic curler is rolling their eyes
know.
right now. I played shuffleboard before.
I'm just saying I can't figure skate. I can't go down. I do not think I would last in a bobsled. I mean, maybe on the team moving my head, but I don't feel competitive there. But I think give me something like you said, a little bit of precision involved, a little bit of ice sweeping. I still don't really know what they do. Make it a little bit friction.
I think they do. They're doing the friction so it gets slicker.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was friction, so it slows it down.
Oh yeah, maybe that.
I don't know.
But let us know, people. All you curling.
Well, listen, before you hit the intro, which I'm already excited about, I just want to say for everybody listening or watching, we do this every week. So we don't always have an amazing special guest, but if you have a contribution and you have a suggestion, you're like, I've been waiting a whole year for you to talk about, I don't know, Labyrinth or something. Let us know.
Labyrinth.
But for now, would you hit the intro?
Cool Runnings is a movie about these Jamaicans that want to start a bobsled team with a coach as a really good bobsledder. But they start off really bad, but they end up being really good and making it to the Olympics.
All right, so Kayla, I want to lean into why we brought you here today, which is you are a resident expert of Cool Runnings.
Whoa.
So we're going to start off with something today called Cool Quotes. So this is a game where I'm going to give you a setup line from the movie, and you've got to complete it with the next iconic
I've got
quote.
this.
Okay?
I've got this.
Josue, you can help out too if you want. Feel free to get in character. All right, round one.
Who are you, Sanka or Yul Brenner? Derice
Junior.
Junior.
Okay, number one. Sanka, you dead?
Yeah, man.
I mean, we had to start with that one.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Just warming up.
Yeah, man.
Okay, how about I beat your butt right now?
How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt?
My absolute favorite
That
line.
line, when I was little, was the line that my little brother and I, Christian, would watch this movie together all the time. That was the line. We would rewind the VHS and watch it back over and over.
What do you think it was about that?
And over.
He said butt. I don't know.
He said butt, and we thought it was clever. Like, we were like, what a good comeback. Like,
Yeah.
that guy is bald. If you drew a line down the middle of his head, it would look like a butt. Like,
Did you know at the time who Yul Brenner was?
no.
Okay. Well, I mean, not that it mattered for that joke, but I was thinking about, I don't think I discovered I knew the 10 Commandments, but I didn't know that was the guy.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So Yul Brenner is an actor who plays, have you seen the 10 Commandments?
No.
Okay. We have a whole episode. You got a lot of homework to do after this.
Yeah.
But he plays Pharaoh, and he's a very famous actor. He's in other things.
Charles Heston movie. Charles Heston movie.
Charlton Heston.
I keep calling him Hestons.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, he's bald also.
Yep.
So that's kind of,
Love
there's this
that for
underlying
him.
joke of like, when he's like, his name is Yul Brenner, and they're like, Yul Brenner, like that's
Not that one.
Okay.
Okay. How about this one? This was a little bit of a deeper cut. I can't believe you're still cold, man.
Oh, snap.
I can set you up there on the top of the bobsled track. They've been there for a bit, and Sanka pulls a hot
that's
water
right.
bottle out of his, whatever, get up.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And his reply. Dang it.
Where is this? Where are they? They're at the top of
They're about to do like
Oh,
this.
so they're practicing.
Uh-huh.
And he says, I can't believe you're still cold, man.
Yeah.
What?
And
And he says, cold. You don't remember?
Dang,
He says,
you got
cold.
me.
I'm freezing. This is another one of my favorite lines. He says, I'm freezing my royal Rastafari
Rastafari nays off.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
can't believe I forgot that one.
I can't believe, I just didn't remember where it was.
It's a harder setup. Yeah, there's a lot of lines.
I was
in
watching
movie.
this with Eva, and she's like, "Nate, what are nays?"
Yeah. Well,
else
you could
we
take that a few different ways.
I remember being so young that I just said the sounds Like I didn't know what it meant. I just knew it was a funny comeback.
The one line that I had no idea until maybe in recent years was when they make fun of his mom's name. When they're like, what should we name this sled?
Tallulah.
Tallulah. And he says, it sounds like a $2 hooker.
Yeah.
And I had no idea those were the words.
I didn't even realize that he said that.
Yep.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. There's a lot.
Crazy.
I watch things with subtitles now. It's very illuminating.
I watched it with subtitles and I was like, that's so interesting.
Actually, I did have a question. This is going to take us off track just for a second. But
Okay.
at the very beginning of the song, I don't know if you can hear the song in your head. Man, I wish we could play it. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, is that it? Oh man, we might have to skip this. But anyway, the words were, if a this you love, you want you go get. And we're gonna have to. You know what I'm talking about? At the beginning?
Right in the beginning. Yeah.
Right
beginning.
before he goes into the verse.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing that they're saying over and over again, if this you love, you want, you go get. I saw the
You
words
love,
and I'm
you
like,
want,
I
and go
can't.
get.
I can't line that up with the melody in my head.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can't.
That's crazy.
Well, beginning of the movie, everybody, just play it and see if you hear that. Okay, number 4. You might want to have that button ready for this one, Josue. Look in the mirror and tell me what you see.
I see pride. I see power. I see a bad mother that won't take no crap off of nobody.
Once again. No,
My favorite is his reaction.
good.
He's like, yeah. And then he walks out of the bathroom and Yul Brynner's like,
Where's he going?
Where you going? What's happening right now?
Yeah.
that was the line too. My brother and I were like, we're going to say the bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
dude.
mom was like, you're not allowed to say that. And we're like,
But he never says it. I also forgot that part. I'm watching this with Eva.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, do they drop it? They don't drop it.
No, they
It's a Disney
don't.
movie. Oh, yeah, they don't drop it.
He doesn't say it?
Badass Mutta. He just says Mutta.
he says
entire time.
badass.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about. It's the word mother that you have a problem
No,
with?
I thought he was going to say that. He was going to finish it.
Oh, I didn't.
I thought he was going to finish it too.
Oh, I didn't.
But he
know
never
that.
does.
No.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of well-placed profanity.
It does.
Coming back to it, I'm like, why was this okay in our little Christian home, but somehow it slid through the
Which is
censors?
so funny because my mom was like the strictest with like what we
that
were
way, too.
watching, right? But
Yeah.
this somehow was okay.
Yeah.
Well, Disney, it just goes under the radar when the castle comes on the screen. And parents are like, okay.
We're safe now.
Everything's fine.
Okay, round 5
Not
here.
true.
Rise and shine.
It's butt whipping time.
I love that one.
God, you are so good at this right now.
This is
She wasn't
the
lying.
one movie, man.
We took a trip as a team, as a creative team.
Oh my God.
To Nashville.
To Nashville. Yeah.
And in the Airbnb, Kayla's like, oh, cool running.
Was it just on television?
And just put it on repeat, right? The entire time. We were like, we're leaving to the conference, and she's just leave it on so that the vibes are in the room.
The vibe. I mean, it's just good vibes. Like it's just it's just such a good movie. It's just such a good movie.
I do feel like when I was watching this, that it's one of those movies that you could just jump in at any point, and it's not like, oh, this is the good part. Because I feel like there are parts that I like, but most of the
It's
movie,
all
I'm just
good.
like, I'm really enjoying anything.
It's
Yeah.
all good. One of my favorite scenes is at the beginning.
What?
Guess.
The push
I
cart?
can't believe.
The
Yes.
push cart?
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the
Yeah,
rhyme.
yeah.
Get on up. It's push cart time.
Yeah, he uses the same.
But my favorite is what he makes the kids do and say about him.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what
Who's the
captain of our crew?
Yep.
Who's a friend to me and you?
Kind of nice, good looking too. Sanka, Sanka, hey, Sanka.
Get back to work.
That's a good way to, hype up a group of people. Just have
Who's
them all
a big
cheer
fat
about you.
bag of air who doesn't ever comb
Who
his
doesn't
hair?
bathe? There you go. Who doesn't bathe and doesn't care? Sanka.
So good. Yeah, no, I mean, we can talk about the movie and the pacing and stuff, but the pacing of the movie is so good.
It's so good.
Because there's no like super lull.
Yeah.
And if there is anything that just brings the energy down, it pushes the movie along. It's like really valuable.
yeah.
I think a lot of people should, who directed this? I gotta look
I don't know.
this
I
up.
have one of my other notes.
But yeah, that person did a great job.
Okay, this is another favorite of mine. You don't see the Swiss team fighting, do you? You don't see the Swiss team drinking and carrying on and such.
Wasn't this? But you don't see the Swiss team smiling neither.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
If
that's
the
right.
Swiss were
Fact.
ever to meet a pretty girl,
Yeah.
probably yell "Eins, zwei, drei," and try to push him down some ice.
That was a good one, dude. That was so good.
Good.
Sanka is so
He's
fast.
so, bruh.
He's on it.
You still haven't asked my favorite line yet.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I only have. There were so many. I had
Yeah.
to condense it. Okay, I got 2 more, and then you can tell me what
Okay,
yours is
let's
if it's
see,
not on
let's
here.
see.
They get to Canada. It's negative 25 degrees.
Yep.
Sankaman, what you smoking?
I'm not smoking. I'm breathing. That's it.
Is it?
That's
Yeah.
it.
When he puts on all the clothes and the bag and comes outside. Oh, so good. Okay, this one's a tougher one, but it's a
All
more
right.
sentimental quote. A gold medal is a wonderful thing.
Oh.
Oh
this
yeah.
one.
Oh, that's the.
You
that's,
got to
that's
finish
it.
the quote.
The whole thing. Okay.
It's only one line. A gold medal is a wonderful thing, but
I have a guess, but I want you to be able to guess.
I think I know the last part of it. What's the middle part? Having gold medal is a
I
wonderful
think-
thing, but go.
If you're not enough without
Oh,
it,
yes.
you'll never be enough with it.
yeah. Good vibes, this movie.
So good.
So good, dude.
You know, after watching this, you know, it's really tempting to talk about it before the podcast. And I was
Yeah.
telling Kayla, I forgot how inspirational this movie is.
Oh, yeah. Well, this movie sits in a sweet spot because I looked it up. This came out in 1993.
Yeah.
And around that same time, 1992 was Mighty Ducks. The first one, not the second one. 1993, Rookie of the Year. 1994, Little Giants, a little lesser known, but same vibe.
Yeah.
1993, also The Sandlot.
No, that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
1994, Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, wow. That one was a good one.
So I feel like it's just like
yeah.
this vibe of like these movies that are all this similar thing, which is why I don't understand why it works still. Like we went back to Mighty Ducks 2. Terrible. You know, it's like so cheesy and they're just leaning into all these tropes, which I don't necessarily feel like this movie avoids entirely, but there was just something coming back to it that I'm like, yeah, I'm inspired. I want to
Yeah.
get in a bobsled
Yeah. I want to get in a
or
bus.
something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I think it's timeless because it also doesn't try to, well, it takes itself seriously, but at the same time, it also like knows what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they weren't trying to be exactly precise with how the Jamaican bobsled team became the Jamaican bobsled team.
Right.
They took some liberties there, but the essence of it, because it is really true that people were kind of like, wait, what? There's a Jamaican bobsled team. That's crazy, and they were so joyful and happy about what they were doing, even in the midst of like, this probably isn't the most normal thing, but hey, like. We're trying to be something that we're trying to go after something that
You can't believe.
you can't. Yeah, it's not easy. You know what I mean? And everybody around, like I watched a little bit of footage of the '88 Olympics,
Yeah.
and how people felt about it. And it's true, they were these guys were selling shirts with their faces on.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were selling, and people bought it and were like. For all intents and purposes, people were cheering for their countries, but they were almost all of them as well cheering for Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah, which is inspirational in itself. It's like, oh, cool. Like this,
Yeah.
the Olympics are supposed to be a unifying thing, even though we're whatever. And they really did that, a little bit.
What the heck? Go
Yeah.
Jams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So why is this movie so meaningful to you?
Oh, what a great question. I really don't know. And I think that's what we need to talk about,
Yeah.
right? Of like, why is this movie like so powerful? Why is it so inspirational? So I watched it with my family, like especially with my brother.
Do you remember if you ever saw it in theaters or was this just at home?
I think
Probably
we
not.
just watched it at home. I think we rented it at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And we watched it and we just loved it so much.
Yeah,
and then we just watched it over and over, the way kids do, over and over and over again. And it was the same things that would just like bring joy. I think it was the joy, maybe, of just like, oh, this is going to make us laugh
Yep.
and it's going to inspire us. And I don't know what it was, but even watching it today, I mean, I was like, this is such a good movie.
Yeah.
I remember, so we had this dollar theater in Tucson, and it was probably most cities have, but it was on top of American Home Furnishings. And you would go, you'd pay $1, and you'd see the movies after they're not in the main theater, but you could still see it in this theater that was, sticky floor, those kind of.
We have
90s
one of
vibes.
those.
Yeah. So I remember going with the family, and we didn't have a plan. It was like, here's the options of movies. What do you want to see? And this movie being on the list and not knowing what it was and actually passing it up and going, no, like getting a little like, oh, it's about this like Olympic team, and like
Almost like, oh, you already know what the movie is going to be about. So you're like,
no thanks. And then seeing it afterwards and going, I loved it. We had it at our house. We watched it so many times, and I had the same experience with my kids. Now they've seen this a few times now, but the first time I introduced it to them, it was the same thing. Like, oh, Dad, we don't want to watch. Like, you try and explain it, and you can't, and then you sit and watch it, and everybody loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think when I remember back in the day watching this when I was a kid with my brother, and one of the things that sticks out to me is the whole. When they crash, or when Sanka crashes in the beginning, that whole, Sanka, are you dead, man? Yeah, man. That we would say that all the time.
Yeah, we would say that all the time.
And I think as kids, you see the slapstick, the funny, all that kind of stuff, and that sticks with you. And underneath of it, of the, hey, do challenging things. Try hard, go for the goal, don't get discouraged. That kind of stuff was just underneath the surface for kids wise. Mm-hmm. And then as an adult, watching this back as an adult, how much more in your face that actually is like really different. Like to me, it was like, man, I missed all of that when I was a kid. I just took it as a funny movie, fun, slapstick, whatever, not realizing that the message that it was sending was more meaningful and deeper than it really is, which is really wild. I'm sitting there like watching this, and just the interaction between Doris and the coach. Because we haven't gone through the synopsis in particular, but
man,
come to find out that the coach cheated, was a gold medalist, all that kind of stuff. And I was thinking, oh man, in other movies, that the team would find out that he cheated and would be like, we don't want to do this, we're out.
Yeah,
But in this movie, it was like we found out he cheated. And it's like the coach was outright honest with it first. The coach was like, hey, I made a mistake. And they received his like authenticity of like, I'm sorry about that. Like, this is who I was and that's not who I am anymore kind of thing. Really quickly. And that wasn't the turmoil in the movie. The turmoil was always internal.
I think that's a really good observation.
Really cool.
That is a good observation.
I don't think about it a lot, but what it makes me think of too is, because I was thinking, and we can talk plot in a second, is the combination of characters as well. Because you have these guys that are assembled, right, that are not necessarily friends except the main two. And none of them, like that, even the coach, like he's not into it. The other two guys, they're sort of all forced together. And then you get these moments where they have to come together as a team, even though they're all so different, even though they have maybe different goals or whatever. And that really does fuel the whole movie. And I think kind of what you're saying, like their coach is an outlier, but so are they.
Yeah.
So it becomes a non-issue. Okay, let's talk plot real quick. You have to summarize this and sell it to, say, a kid or somebody that was your age when you saw it. What would you say this movie is?
Okay, like on the spot.
Once upon a time, there were these silly guys who were from a place that never gets cold. And they decided that in order to be in the Olympics, that they needed to figure out how to play a winter sport without ever experiencing the winter. And then how deep do you normally go?
Not super deep. We'll talk about it. So just your quick summary, which I think is pretty much it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they do, by a miracle, and then they go to the Olympics, barely get to actually be in the Olympics, end up, I'm spoiling the movie.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Well,
okay.
Know, but I feel
something ends up happening. Blah, blah, blah. Something tragic happens, and then it ends up being redemptive and like freaking beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. And
inspiring. Bro.
And what she said, like redemptive for the team and for the coach.
For everyone involved.
Even the people who were like,
oh my gosh, even for the Swiss.
For the Swiss or the German. Yeah.
Or the German guy, he goes,
Yeah.
That the slow clap at the end that started it off.
Bruh. This movie's about redemption.
Okay, here's the deal that this is what I still don't understand watching it. And I thought about it again the last time I watched it, is it has so many tropes in it.
It does.
Like, the music, you could just be like, give me cliche music for a sentimental moment. Every time they're in the hotel room and like Junior's having the thing with his dad, or Yul Brynner realizes he can't live in Buckingham Palace, or all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The 90s music just swells in, you know what I mean? And then every time you get to a slow-mo moment, you know, when they're on the bobsled track, it's a different, almost Chariots of Fire.
Yes.
And then every time they're hanging out, it's just like reggae, it's Bob Marley, it's like, it's all very like cliche songs, but it
And
just...
no people say, you know, they can't believe. Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. I'll give you $1 to shut up. I made $1.16.
Yes.
But it just works. Like, it all works.
It does.
And then the cast, like every cast introduction, right at the beginning, you get Doris and you get his character in just that race.
Yeah. I wanted to say that because I watched it back again, like the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job of showing you who Doris was and where his heart was at.
Yes.
And how other people
with his
viewed him.
wife.
And how other people viewed him. Yep. Really, and in really
I could
short
watch
time.
that boy's backside
all day.
But you get so he's with that scene when he's with his wife and then he's gonna go to the tryout.
It's my turn, Joyce. It's my turn.
Yeah, it's like that little bit of what they captured and him running away saying that.
It says everything.
Yeah, and the scene, the way they pulled in, the way they pulled out camera wise,
It's the
all that kind of stuff.
sunset. It's just beautiful, picturesque. Like it's meant to be. It's destiny.
They totally go, here's our hero.
Boom.
Let's watch him win.
And then you cut to Sanka at the pushcart derby.
Yep.
You know, and you're like, who's this guy? And he's that way the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is my absolute favorite character. He's always the one coming in with a quip or a line. Dougie Doug is so funny. And it just sets him
so
up immediately. It just works.
So funny.
The crash.
Yeah.
I mean, foreshadowing a little bit.
That is so true. I did not even think about that.
I mean,
the foreshadow. Yeah, dude. I didn't think about that
what I
either.
love about his character, Sanka, is that he's just like, I don't know if I would call it confidence. I guess I would. He just like keeps going. Like it doesn't phase him.
Yeah.
You know, and when somebody bristles against him and he has to be real with Doris, even when he's asking him to be in the Olympics or later on when he's like, if we're Jamaican, we got to be Jamaica.
Yeah.
He just has
Yes.
a good sense of self-identity.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if confidence would be the word either, but it's like this sense of knowing who he is and embracing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he uses it in a powerful way. I mean, I don't know if that part is real. I want to know if that happened in real life where like Doris or like that main character was trying to emulate another team, because I could see how tempting that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
When you're doing something new that you've never done before, you see experts are like, bro, we got to be just like them.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, man, like we got to be just like us and be the best version, be the best Jamaican that we can be, And I wonder if that was real or not.
I mean, I think they tried to portray some of that. I think that the Jamaicans at that time going into this sport, they did want to they wanted to show the world, right? Jamaica, pride, the island, what their culture was about.
Yeah.
So I think whoever wrote the story, I think captured that and was like, oh, you know what? Sanka's going to be our guy to like radiate that.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
And then you cut to Junior, and let me just say too that this movie is filled with there's a couple really key moments like that still like tear at my heartstrings.
Yes.
Like that race every time when it's slow mo at the beginning and you're like, nope, he's gonna trip right now. I don't want to watch it because it's so devastating.
So horrible.
Yeah. I will say though, they go to, fast forward, they bobsled.
Yeah.
4 years later, they continue to bobsled. Jamaica continues to bobsled. So when he trips and he falls and he's like, son, you could always do this again 4 years later. I mean, he really could have because he did.
Well, yeah,
anyway.
but you would have missed the moment. Like he'd been training for it his whole life. It's finally there. And now I'm going to wait 4 years.
Hey.
I don't think it would have worked out.
I don't know.
Because think
you
about
do get
like
older, you do get slower. Yeah.
well, but think about that. Not even that, right? Because if they were like well enough to do Olympic bobsledding the next year, then logic would say they would have been well enough to run, right?
Yeah.
And my thought would be the heart posture that he would endure for 4 years of like bitterness and resentment and feeling like cooped up or like held back for 4 years. I think that would have ruined his career. I think that'd ruin anybody's career.
Yeah, true.
You know, and it kind of saved him from this like narrative of self-pity.
Yeah.
That
No, I see that.
he chose that and was like, we're gonna make something out of this.
Yeah.
So crazy.
And then Yul Brynner, when you first meet him, he's like, he's smacking his head, you know.
He goes,
He's
I'm not worried about Doris, but I am worried about that big baldy.
Big baldy.
And again, though, and that's, I think, the nice dynamic interchange between the characters, because
so
he's
good.
crazy. You would never talk to that Yul Brynner guy,
Yes.
except Sanka gets in the mix.
Yes.
You know, and he comes in, and when he's like, Doris is going to beat both your butts
Do
anyway.
you guys remember Living Single?
Oh,
With,
barely.
with Queen Latifah. She's
No.
a main character in that show. Well, anyway, Yul Brynner is a character in that.
Oh, the actor?
in that show, yeah, and he plays a completely opposite.
Really?
He plays like a really gentle, shy guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the super of the apartment complex where they all live, and he like really likes. I don't know if it's Queen Latifah or not, but he really likes one of the ladies in the apartment, and you know, but he's just really shy.
What a
and,
great actor.
He's a good actor. Yeah, yeah. And he doesn't speak. He's not Jamaican.
Yeah.
And I
I've seen
think it actually, like looking back at the different facts about the movie, people who are Jamaican are like, he's got the worst Jamaican accent.
It's not about what I see. Yeah, I was like, this is getting a little. And then John Candy in this, and this was one of his last big movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of the lines are cheesy. Even some of them, you can kind of see the writing, but just him as a character in this just delivers it in a way that I go like, oh, I don't know, I believe it. I was never taken out of the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was never like overly analyzing it or anything. I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he did a great job. Some of the changes of the true life story and the movie are there were two American bobsled.
You mean Jamaican?
No, two Americans that were in Jamaica
Oh,
that were like, oh, we could get these runners, they're fast, and we can teach them how to be bobsledders because, you know, at the start, if you're really fast at the start, you have a better time, you know. So it was two coaches, and they sought out, you know, guys from Jamaica to start.
and it was really Olympic sprinters, or sprinters that they're looking
It
for.
was really sprinters, and
I mean, I read that all these characters are fictional.
yes, they're
These
all.
specific characters, Doris,
okay.
Sanka, whatever.
But that was true that there were, you know, but the washed up like
Yeah, he wasn't a disgraced Olympian.
yeah they weren't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which
So they chose to add that in.
Yeah,
Interesting.
which I think helped.
I think it works.
I think it works. I'm kind of glad that they did that.
It's really funny because we know in today's day and age, there's movies and things like being redone, you know, and people are just they like no, stick with the original, like whatever. This is kind of similar in the fact that yes, this really happened, and we're making a story about it. But they decided like these choices that they made. They're like, well, we're deciding to focus more on the inspirational, and the challenges, then more so be accurate to like the true life story.
Yeah.
You know, so that I am okay with that because
It's a fine line.
Yeah,
I
it
wonder-
It is
yeah.
a fine line.
Depending on how close you are to it, because all of America, I feel like, still cheers on Jamaica in the bobsledding tournament
It's
in the
wild,
Olympics,
yeah.
you know? And we all come to it that way. But if you're Jamaican, I don't know how you feel. It's like if you're
Oh,
a
true.
Christian and they make a movie about Jesus and you go, well, I mean, let me, you know.
Let me tell you about these things they got wrong. Yeah.
If it's a story that's
It's a good
close to
question.
you already, it can maybe hurt a little.
It's a
but
good
this-
question.
I guess so. I guess you're right. I guess if they try to remake Cool Runnings today, would we be okay with it or not?
I think I'm curious what Jamaicans think about this.
Yeah, me too.
Let's call one up.
Okay, cool.
There's 3 Jamaicans on the line.
I would love to know that.
All right, I've got. I don't know. I was going to make up a name, but I don't.
Yul Brynner.
Junior.
And so there was only 2, you said it was going to be a 2-man sled at first.
Yeah. So in the real life story, these guys, there was so no surprise where Jamaicans were like, no, we don't want to do this. And so
It is crazy.
they only found two.
It is crazy.
They only found two guys that were like, okay, we'll do it. Because there's a 2-man bobsled and there's a 4-man bobsled. And that's how it started off, as a 2-man bobsled only. The pool or the competition of the 2-man was bigger. There's like 34, 35 different teams. And the 4-man bobsled was a smaller pool to compete with. So they decided, we might have a better chance if we have a smaller pool to compete with. We need 2 more guys.
So with that, the famous, like with the ending of the movie and how that happens, they show like a little bit of the clips from
they
the
use
Olympics.
they use the real footage.
And it looks like a 4-person.
Oh, it is. So they did a 4-man bobsled. They initially went out, you said, planning to do 2.
Oh, they planned to do 2 and they ended up
doing 4.
Doing 4.
That's why we see they picked the story of the 4, obviously because of what happens at the end.
Right.
But it was initially started off as a 2-man bobsled team. And in the middle of it, they were like, we need to add 2 more people and we need to compete in the 4-man instead.
So good editing in the movie.
Crazy.
You don't need all that.
You don't,
exactly.
But I think also like the tension, because I can't remember if you said this, but the welcoming, like people not wanting Jamaica there is fictionalized for the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, from what I read, people were pretty welcoming and like embracing them.
Interesting.
But I think that tension, that underlying racial tension, and then also the coach being a disgrace, like those really fuel all this. Like that tension exists the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know how it would have felt if those elements weren't in the movie, right? Like,
I don't think it would have been as compelling of a story. Well, I think because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to have some kind of desire for the characters to achieve what they're going for.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise you're kind of going to be like, okay, so these are just like some random guys who are like trying to do this crazy thing, which is cool. Like I support random guys doing crazy things. Go for it.
Card.
I mean, I'm friends with Josue.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. I'm a random guy doing random crazy
Please add
things.
that to your 5-star review.
Just a random guy doing crazy things.
Yeah.
So like that's cool, but like in order for like a 5-year-old watching the movie,
Right.
to really
You need a villain.
you need some kind of overt, kind of redemptive hurdle that they're trying to
From East Germany.
From East Germany.
Bruh.
Oh, wow.
East Germany
Blitzy.
on the board. You know when they're like keeping score, like there's always this one shot where it has East Germany written as a country, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like
It was a time and a place. Yeah, it is.
time 88
Wow.
Olympics,
That's wild.
because Berlin Wall came down 89.
Right? I mean, Reagan.
89.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
close.
But also that, like, similarly, like to the beginning race moment when they all pull up with their janky sled the very first time.
That's right. Yeah.
And again, you got that German guy that's making fun of them. Like, I still feel that moment where everybody's quiet, you know, and he's like, this is good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And he has them all sit in the sled, and you're like, how terribly embarrassing.
I know.
I don't know. I still feel it every time I watch it.
Yeah.
I know.
What other moments stand out for you guys?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. There's many moments for me that stand out. One of the moments that right now just popped in my head was the extra hurdles that people would keep putting on them. Like
Yeah.
the qualifying time changed.
Now it's a minute instead of a minute 2.
It's like,
And it was a minute 5 before. Yeah.
it's like, we're just gonna change. The rules just changed just now. Like really, like that's convenient.
Did
for
you
guys.
notice? So when they qualify and they're freaking out because they got 59 point whatever.
Yeah, 59,
and
not
then
9.
their first round in the actual Olympics, when they choke, they get a faster time than that.
I noticed that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It was like, oh, how embarrassing, blah, blah, blah.
That's good enough for last place.
56
And then the music,
something, right? Yeah.
I
Way
noticed
faster.
that.
Yeah,
I was like, what the heck?
that's weird.
I was like, maybe I just can't do math.
I think
You've
they
been
messed up.
manipulating me with music.
Wow.
And laughter.
Wow.
Really.
Oh, stand out to me is when they're in the, oh my gosh, where they're doing the line dancing.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You know, at the end of that scene, he has the girl's cowboy hat
Yeah,
on.
and he goes to fight.
Excuse me, Missy?
Yippee-ki-yay!
He says yippee-ki-yay too. Like he gets at first when he starts dancing, he's not getting the movements, but at the end of it, he's got it down.
Working. Even the placement of that music. So that song
so
in the
good.
bar is called like Going Nowhere Fast. which I didn't pick up until one of
that's
the recent
right.
watches.
Yeah.
And then it switches, and then they do the montage where they're rise and shine, and then it's rise above it. And I'm like, the music on this, just whoever picked this was so great.
Bumping. Yes.
So
yes.
and Eva pointed out, like, did you see that he took her hat and now she has his hat?
Yes. He just walked away and just left it on her.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And I was thinking, because I've been to Nashville, I'm like, how expensive was that hat that he just rolled into that fight? Like, you owe that woman some money.
That's crazy.
Yeah, probably.
You know what we haven't talked about?
Yeah.
Is Junior and his dad.
Yeah.
And that for me, you want to talk about
that a
moments that
standout?
you feel,
Yeah.
and that is a standout for me. Oh my gosh. So horrible, rips your heart out when he like comes to take him home, and like they have that argument in the hotel in Canada, and he's like, I'm staying, you know. Or he's like, look at, like, what do you see when you look at me? And he's like, I see a lost little boy.
He stops the elevator,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
He's like, I see a lost little boy, whatever. And then he's like, I'm staying or whatever. And I was just like, what a sad moment as a son to like hear your dad say that to you. And to know that that's what he sees when he looks at you. Like, because you can tell he's being honest, right? And he just hasn't quite changed his perspective on his own son.
Yeah.
And then, oh God, and then to see him at the final race.
With the shirt.
And then he opens the shirt and it has Jamaican bobsled team on it as he sees his son. Yeah. Obviously, he's so proud at the honor and the dignity that his son, you know, has represented their country and their family.
Totally.
And just what a beautiful, like that moment. No words are exchanged. And it's just like, you can tell that like their relationship has changed forever.
Yep.
That entire storyline, because if I look at the characters in this, like Junior, I would think, you know, he's not my top guy, right?
Yeah.
But that storyline from the beginning, like that tension there, and he's wiping his car, Webster and Cohen or whatever. He sells the car, and you're like, but whatever. And then he's like doing his whole thing. And then you get that him with the Yul Brynner exchange, right? Where Yul Brynner like is disappointed now because he can't live in Buckingham Palace. And he's like, you know, go for your dream. And the music swells in again. And so again, it like supports the entire premise of the movie because now you get like, oh yeah, you just press through, rise above it. That entire storyline, like that drives the entire movie.
Yes.
It's so good. Each character had their own like
journey,
or arc, which is really good within the entire arc of everybody. Like redemption was
a redemptive arc.
Redemptive arc was
for
the
everyone,
thing for everybody, which was, and everybody had a different flavor of that path that they had to take, which is really cool.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, the production thing on that one, that scene when he's talking to his dad in the elevator.
Oh my gosh.
So he stops, the elevator's about to close. He puts his hand in once. He's asking him what he sees, and right before the dad is about to answer, it closes. He stops it. The dad says this thing. He stops it. He says what he wants to say to his dad, and when he's done, then it closes.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say even before that, because right when you think his dad convinced him to go, and he's disappointed, and he stops, and you see him mouth in the mirror, the same thing that I see pride, and he goes boom.
Yep.
Like the way that it was shot, just so well done. You know,
it's so
well done.
It's so good because it's also I just love like when, because here's the thing, good directors, good videographers will put things in there for a reason, and everything is telling you something, right?
Yeah.
So in that moment, they're telling the audience member, hey, when a door is closing on you, before it closes, remember who you are. Remember, like, hey, and
you have a choice as to whether or not that door shuts.
Exactly. Like, does it have to close, or is it something in you that hasn't yet been realized that you can open that door, and then let the door close when you're ready to close.
Because also you get like when Junior's
so good.
When he's talking to Yul Brynner, right, and he's saying like you can achieve your dream. My dad, because he's like, who are you, rich boy? He's like, well, my dad started in a 1-room hut.
That's right.
He's one of the richest people. And then you get this story of like, you know, John Candy, who is having to press through, you know, whatever he's been through. Like they all kind of have this moment where they have to like go beyond this door. It's like this choice I make to go, no, I'm not going to let this limit me. I'm going to step past it. I was thinking about the moment too when they all get in the sled at the very first time, the East German guy's yelling at them, and Junior to Yul Brynner, and they're not friends yet, is like, does it seem to you like nobody likes us? And he's like, oh, we're different. Nobody likes what's different. I don't know. I just
you know what's crazy? I'm just realizing now too that one of the things that this movie is trying to feature also is identity, because Sanka has a really like good identity in who he is, right? He kind of lets Derice kind of take that away a little bit by being involved and just, I'm the driver. No, the driver has to do X, Y, Z. Do you want the responsibility? He was
the back is nice.
The back is nice. Yeah.
That's such a the back is nice.
So I'm gonna see. So immediately he's like, "Oh, I need to take a back seat to who I am."
Yeah.
And Derice tries to be like the Swiss, and when he's smacking their heads or whatever, and he's like, "What are you
the
doing?"
Swiss do to psych each other up.
And he's using.
They make those little pocket knives too. I don't see you doing that.
yeah, they make the little Swiss knives, and he's using their thing, right?
Right.
And so Yul Brynner, his identity is like who I am, and I'm going to go for this. And
well, he's a lone wolf. That's his identity. Is this doesn't mean that I like you. Like, we're not friends. It's like, I'm going to be myself.
Yeah, his identity is lone wolf, and then he finds out.
He gets put in a team.
And he's like, oh, I can do, I like this, you know, and he encourages another teammate, you know. And then the other, Junior's identity is, you know, a daddy's boy, I have to do what my dad tells me.
Lost little boy.
Yeah.
And that changes. And then Derice is like, oh, I need to be like somebody else. And then here comes Sanka going, no, dude, remember, we're Jamaican. Let's be Jamaican.
Yeah.
And then Sanka
Derice, I know you since, what is it? Jenny Jeffries asked to see you ding-a-ling.
Yes.
But I love that leveling moment where it's like,
It's so true. Yeah.
putting yourself up because you feel like you have to be this captain or whatever. And like, I know you, you know, we got to be ourselves. Yeah.
And so I think Derice goes, you know what? You're right. You know how to be a driver. Let's do what you were doing in Jamaica, you know, and that's when the you know, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme comes in.
Okay,
you know?
Talk about rhythm and rhyme, and I like that you
good.
said that, because here's what I was going to say earlier. I forgot that Junior's dad had persevered through so much to establish like a home for him and his son, right?
Yeah.
And you get that as a parent to a kid. Like, I want my kid to have what I have, so you have to do this. I created this whole place for you to live in this framework. You have to do that. And of course, that's not what Junior is. And so he's bucking against this thing, going like, I need to be my own person. And I think it's each one of them realizing like, oh, I get in the rhythm of like the moment, the team, this whole bit where like, I can't force life to do something, but I can do what I can with this moment.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, you got this track, you're on this track, but you are steering the moment. I don't know. I just feel like it's so rich with metaphor.
It's like, embrace where you are right now, feel it, be present. You know what I mean? We're always thinking about what happened back there. You know, it's like, oh, you tripped me, I hate you, you know?
Right.
It's like, oh, but we have this opportunity, but like, oh, but what if we lose? It's like, no, like, be here right now with the cards that you've been dealt and make the most of it.
Yep.
And that's what they did. And it's just, I mean, we all need to hear that.
It was also backward looking too, like that moment where they trip and they fall and they take a picture. It's just the image to me of like locking in the past and letting it define you.
Yeah.
Like the guy's picture on the wall.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All this stuff where you end the movie and they're like, see you in 4 years, Jamaica, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it becomes this shift. The one line I want to embrace in my everyday life that I realized when every time they would do a test run, and you hear the voiceover, it would go, Bob on track. Bob on track. I'm just, every time I pull out of the garage every morning now,
Bob on track.
Bob on track.
Bob on track. I didn't even realize that they said
Me
that.
neither. It's the first time I've noticed in my whole life. Like, oh, Bob on track.
I didn't even notice that.
I did not even notice that at all.
Crazy.
That's it. Bob on track.
Live
your life. It's right in front of you.
Wow.
Any other points that stood out for you guys?
Dang.
Well, you kind of said this, but after his whole singing moment when he was trying to raise money and they're like, Sanka, how did it go? And he's like, how did it go? It went like this. Some people say, another people.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
We didn't touch on what Yul Brynner did to make money.
Oh, the kissing booth?
No, he
the
did arm wrestling.
Reese was a kissing booth, yeah.
Yes, with a homegirl who totally took all of his money.
That's
that
right.
was amazing. And like so ahead of its time.
He was like,
He was like, "Ah," and then they show her and she's like so smug. She's like, I know what's going on. And the kissing booth, my favorite is like after Dries gets in trouble,
He's
walks
got
out.
the lipstick all
He's got
over his
the
mouth and his
lipstick,
wife
no, and
is
he's like,
yeah.
You're ready to go, ready to go. My favorite is when Sanka's
Confident.
like, guess I gotta like step up to
Yeah.
the plate. Like he walks over all confident. And then the old lady's like,
He's like, ooh.
she's like,
yeah. And he's like, and I'm like, bruh.
you gotta take one for the team, homie.
It's hilarious. So good.
I had some other kind of facts that I pulled, but you said most of these. There was no bar fight, but we probably figured that. There was no
I
lucky
assumed.
egg.
Oh,
really? Okay, I was gonna ask about that because that is such a weird anecdote.
Yeah, I wonder how they came up with that.
I want to know who came up with it, and also like watching it even as a kid, I was like, there ain't no way that egg was not busted.
Yeah.
Like-
where are you putting that? Every time.
Well-
like, still. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I mean, they literally got into a crash, and then at the very end, he's like, wait, and then he just gets out the egg.
You want to kiss the egg, man? I don't want to kiss your dirty egg.
But did you notice in the last round when Yul Brynner kisses it and then he takes and he wipes it on it?
Ew, disgusting.
You know, he still has those
Kiss
eggs.
the egg.
Who?
What's his name?
Dougie Doug?
Dougie Doug. He still has the eggs.
No way.
Yep, they're rubber eggs.
Yeah, in this story, what are we supposed to believe? That it's some sort of everlasting egg?
Yeah,
Well-
like what do they want us to think?
It's fossilized?
You know what though? I will say so. Okay, we get farm raised eggs, like free range.
We know
eggs.
about your bougie lifestyle. Josue plays croquet. We've talked about this.
We know how to
You
play-
have a pool house.
People play croquet in our neighborhood.
Badminton, and your farm raised eggs. Go on.
But one time, the kids brought home eggs that they picked themselves.
Okay.
And
From the farm?
From the farm.
Okay.
Ezra lost his in the house.
Oh no.
This thing was lost for, I want to say 9 days, not quite 2 weeks. And it was in the couch.
Ugh.
And we thought, oh my, no smell. We didn't crack it open or anything like that. I think we threw it away, but it wasn't rotten. So
Okay.
You should have let the kid keep
this
it.
movie was probably obviously more than 8 days.
It was at least half
But
a year.
were they trying to say like, oh, farm eggs like this last that long?
I don't
like,
think they were
there's
making-
no
I don't
way.
think they were trying to say that. I think I don't know. It was just part of his little weird character.
What a weird thing.
That
Like
thing
what a
would've-
weird thing of like you're gonna have an egg.
Okay. I was like, who's
I want to know whose idea. Like was that his idea? Was he like, you know, it'd be really
Maybe.
funny if I just had an egg,
a lucky egg.
a lucky egg.
It might have been.
It's one of those
You
random
need to ask
things.
ChatGPT how they came up with that.
We really, I want to know that I was gonna ask that of like, what is with the egg?
I remember when
We're
I
gonna
was
have
in,
to circle back and do some research.
You could probably figure it out right now. No, I was gonna say we had my drama class in high school, and there was this one like random girl who we were doing this variety show, and she just thought it would be the funniest thing in every skit to just have somebody walking through the background salting an egg. I don't know why I still remember that, but our teacher would not go for it. She's like, "No, we are not doing that." And she's like, "No, it'd be so funny. Just every skit, just somebody's walking through the back salting an egg." And I'm like, "That's one of those people that came up with this moment."
I guess.
That is most definitely what it
Kiss
was.
my egg, like what?
Well, unless it was just like really
Durable egg.
like a dirty, like a dirty euphemism.
No, there's no way.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
believe that.
I mean, well, question.
Go on.
If the egg would have cracked, does that mean something else cracked too?
Oh, you're. Are you saying that the egg is the symbolism for their dream?
No.
That's what I want to take from it. Leave it at that. Josue, you're going somewhere where I can't follow.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Follow Anakin.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna say that the egg is symbolic of their dream. It just couldn't be crushed.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it is.
There you go. I like that.
Even though they crashed twice.
Twice.
Again, the first crash, apparently it was a joke. And then the second one, the end of the movie where it's like they crash. But the first time, when they do their first run.
That's right. Yeah, they do.
And you hear the hubcap, Dries, you dead?
What do you mean it was a joke?
Well, it was like the first time they crashed, it was on their first test run when they just got the sled.
When they just got the sled. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They were going too slow. They didn't know how to control it, and it just
Yeah, not the 80. I hate you. I hate you.
I loved his
Sanka, you can pee now. He's like, oh, too late.
yeah, exactly.
Did you notice when they get their outfits and he's like, I know it's still a trial, but whatever.
That was a really cool
That was a really cool
And then they
moment.
have their inspiring music in slow motion. They get on the track with their old sled. When they do the close-up shots, it's the painted sled.
Oh,
Bruh.
really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So watch it next time when they pull out the handles, and I'm like, wait, why is there? It's like all their Jamaica colors and stuff.
Oh wow!
I've seen this.
Well,
movie
we were
times.
also meant to believe that they painted it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is that what the movie was saying? That
They
they
had
like
the stencils, yeah.
The stencils.
Oh, they
The
did.
paint and stuff on the ground
Well,
and
that's
whatever.
Bro,
Sanka's
and then
skill.
they're polishing it when the camera comes. I'm like, there's no way you put lacquer on that thing.
Absolutely not. I mean, we saw the state of all the push carts that Sanka was driving. Okay, and you're
Yeah,
trying to
kids
tell
were
me
doing it.
What was
No.
what was the push cart? What was the name on the front of the push cart?
Oh my gosh.
Something Rasta or
Oh,
I don't remember.
I don't know.
oh, so funny.
But you're
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, but yeah,
There ain't no way that they did that.
accurate though to the team.
What do you mean?
The paint job on the bobsled and
Oh, it's the
outfit.
same?
Yeah, yeah, super accurate. I don't know. if they-
Really?
yeah.
So is the whole like them renting or borrowing a bobsled, is that whole thing
That's
made
a-
up?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because that ties into the fabrication of the coach's character being like this disgraced
Yep.
Olympian who like had to like coerce somebody to like let him purchase it on the sly.
Yep.
But if he wasn't disgraced,
Yeah, I think now that I'm trying to remember, I think did you mention it earlier that they bought the sled from the Canadian team, or did I hear that?
I don't know. I didn't hear that. I just saw that it played out differently for sure. They did have financial trouble. They did have to raise money, but
I think
wasn't.
they rented or bought from the Canadian team a practice bobsled from the Canadian team.
I did read, and this maybe ruins the movie for me, that the crash was not caused by a mechanical failure.
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
Okay, can we talk about this?
Because in real life, it was a driver error. It says they entered the turn too fast.
Yeah.
That would have been that changes the movie.
Yeah.
But did you notice when the announcer, I can't remember who it is, it sounds like Bob Costas to me. Like they're all cheering for Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like on a dime, he's like, oh, something's wrong with the sled. We don't know what. I'm like, what? How are you seeing this?
Yeah. How do you know?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because we know.
That's
They show us like
crazy.
the close up of
Yeah.
the bolt coming out. And the
Oh
thing.
yeah, they make it super obvious that it's
Doesn't he say, "Oh, it's shaking a lot. There must be something wrong with this"? I think
Yeah.
he sees the shake.
Well, he says, even in that rickety old sled, like he says that. And then all of a sudden he's like, it's really quick.
Even after it's painted, he thought it was rickety. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, you're right. But no, I mean, yeah.
That does kind of ruin it for me.
Just forget it. Don't
No. So it was the driver error. So he took the turn too quick. So it was his own thing.
Yep.
And then, like, can we talk about the crash? Is that like
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
So was it like that in real life? Like
Well, I mean, like you said, you're seeing real footage of it happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Cut in between. But
as far as like what they did afterward,
so they didn't pick up the sled.
They pushed
But they
it.
did walk it, like push it to the end.
they pushed it to the end.
Yeah, they did.
Which
they
makes
picked it up.
sense because in the movie you're like, why are you lifting this thing?
This
I
thing
mean,
is
I guess
heavy.
it's like a pride, whatever. But yeah, it's like
It's
600 pounds.
Yeah, I mean that thing is heavy, and I was like, and in some of the like scenes where like some of like I don't know where they like show the crash, they have this guy. One of the people,
his head.
is all the way like
that's
this,
real footage, too.
scraping across
Yeah, like you said,
the what do you call it, the slide or the whatever.
yeah, the
And I'm
track.
like, you're trying to
Bob
tell
on
me
track.
that none of those guys broke their necks.
Yeah,
None of
Or
them
their eggs.
like, and they just got up and pushed or carried the
Well, that medical
bobsled.
team was running out there. I mean,
Yeah, do it for nothing. Like, what
Yeah.
did they do?
Well-
So, like, did they?
because the guys got up.
Well, what if you think about it, like in the movie when they're like showing POV of like them, like the medical team opening up.
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's
some
right.
rando people that are just creating more of an opening for them.
Yeah.
That are like not in medical uniform.
right.
And it's like these little kids, like these teenage boys that
On
are just
the
like
track.
on the track that are just like moving out of the way. Like,
What are you doing on the track?
I was like, what are you doing?
Who let you on the track?
I was like, what are you doing here? Just like to make it more dramatic. Like, we need more people to like make this dramatic, you know?
It's so funny.
It was so funny.
They show you in the, I don't know if it's in the footage or if I saw this after the fact, but so when they say that he took it too fast and was on the turn, when it flattens out again, they're still on the wall, and that's the problem. So it wasn't necessarily like a crash.
Right.
They were doing the
I get
curve.
it.
They were on here, and they needed to be back down.
Right.
When it
I see
straightens
what
out.
you're saying.
And so basically when it was flat, they were still like this, and the bobsled didn't have a slope to go back down.
Right.
It was just like, well, I'm gonna just lay here like this.
Well, would you say it's more accurate to say that instead of a crash, it's like they flipped over, or like they flipped sideways?
Yeah, they just stayed side. Yeah, they went into the turn sideways, and they never got back, right side up.
Right.
They stayed sideways when the track, shifted back from being a curve to a straightaway, and it was just like, ding, and they just stayed like that.
I didn't ask my kids at the end of this, because most of these movies were like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the bad guy is East Germany, right?
Yeah, they made East Germany the bad guy.
They really did.
Hey,
Which,
Jamaica. But here's my suggestion.
well, I mean, there's multiple bad guys because
Oh, right. The Olympic.
the
commi-
judge guy,
the committee, yeah,
the committee, right? Who's the guy who
His old
he
Kirk.
stepped
his
in?
old coach,
It's
his
his
old
old
coach.
his old coach is the one that steps in as one of the judges, and he's the
Where's
last.
Korchak?
coach, yeah.
Where's Kroichak? Yeah. So
left.
he's one of the last. East Germany starts the clap, and he's one of the last guys
Yeah.
to clap.
Stubborn.
He's
I still don't
also.
like him at the end.
I still don't like him either.
I say the bad guys in this movie are the Swiss.
Why?
I thought about that.
Okay.
What
And I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what made me think of this at the end of this. But this entire movie, these guys feel like they have to reach an ideal that is set for them as this like unattainable goal by these people that never show them any sort of compassion. They never lend them a sled. They never talk to the
Yeah.
Swiss. They're just
You
constantly
never see the Swiss's face
trying to measure exactly.
Are they always in
And
helmets?
you know that moment when Doris is sitting there watching them the very first time, and it's slow mo again, and the Swiss, he's watching them
Yeah.
getting their thing, and they're going. If you watch that to the end of that, like bobsledding track, at the very end, I swear to you, you hear the sound of a TIE fighter.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I heard that too. Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yes,
say it was
dude.
deliberate, but it definitely made me go, they're evil.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Okay, this is my devil's advocate to this.
Yeah.
Is that I think they intentionally, because we never see their faces.
Right.
So they really are representative of whatever Doris thinks that he needs to be. You know,
And they're red.
they're red,
They're the devil.
demonic. I rebuke them. Just kidding. I love me some Swiss cheese. So
And pocket
A
knives.
Swiss pocket knife is.
I've never had a pocket knife, nor do I plan to have one. But Swiss cheese is bumping. Little tweezers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like me some tweezers.
Yeah, and the Swiss Army knife, you little tweezers in there.
Isn't that's not what the brand is though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
The Swiss Army knife, yeah.
No
The Swiss Army knife
freaking
has
way.
like tweezers in it. It has a bunch of other stuff in it. Yeah.
Oh,
Scissors.
okay.
It's got a bunch. Yeah. It's like
Okay, well, you can give me that for my birthday this year.
crazy. I'm just gonna paint it
I
with
don't
a
really
Jamaican
think they're
flag
the
on
bad
it.
guys, but I did hear that and I was like, is this real?
yeah.
I'm Googling it. I'm like, is there a TIE fighter sound?
That's so funny.
That's so funny. Interesting.
All right. Well, so
my gosh.
one last thing that I did not realize or think about that they had once they got to the track, because I'm like, how impractical for them to practice in Jamaica on that grassy, dirty hillside.
Sure.
What have you done to the police unit?
So real life, you know how they practice that on a concrete slope straightaway.
The
Okay,
real
that's
team?
a
The
little
real
bit
team
more
on
accurate.
concrete.
I guess
bro.
that's a little bit more
That's crazy.
like real life.
That's a little bit more, accurate.
But
Yeah,
they get to
dude.
the Olympics. So when they were there, I read that they had 3 to 4 months actually on the track.
But not on wheels. It's like it's a rough thing, sled thing on concrete. So there's like friction.
Oh yeah, at
So
home.
not wheels.
No, I mean when they get to the Olympic like track or whatever to
Yeah.
test run it,
Yeah.
they had some time.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense to me because I mean they even show that they couldn't even walk on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hockey practice. Yeah, that was really good.
All right, guys, time to go. Let's go before practice starts. What practice?
Yeah.
That one.
So after that, when Yul Brynner, like the guy, like
Pushes the
he was doing, and then he just walks away.
can't-
And he
yeah,
falls
that's
over.
what I.
Yeah.
That's
That's right.
And then he falls down.
Do you think there's anything in this movie that has not aged well?
Oh gosh.
Wait, before that, who actually won the '88 Olympic bobsled team? Who got the gold medal?
I don't know.
Did the Swiss? Is that why probably they didn't want to?
That's a good question. Who actually won?
Jamaica still hasn't won a gold medal in a bobsled
No way.
tournament. So yeah,
I kind of feel a little bit like I don't know that I would have pegged them as heroes in the way that the movie portrays them if I had known that it was not a mechanical error.
yeah. Well, they were set to have the fastest time. That's the thing.
Well, but to me, that's
I
like
think that's what people were like. Oh man, if it wasn't for that, they would have won, and we're gonna get behind them. 'cause
I'm
it's
going to say
first
the
time.
most horrible thing, but like, to me, that's like when you're trying to like, you have beginner's luck and you're like getting a little too big for your britches and you're like, I can go really, really fast. And then it just backfires.
Them's fighting.
Well,
words.
John Candy said you got to figure out what's going to make you loose out there, and they got a little too loose.
Oof.
I mean, yeah.
Can't believe it, man.
So the Swiss did win.
Yeah.
Did they really?
They won the 4-man bobsled, and the 2-man bobsled was won by the Soviets. Soviet Union.
Which is so crazy because like this was not that long ago, guys.
Could you say that they were as fast as a missile?
I don't know.
Could you say? Sorry.
Thanks for one-upping the worst thing that was said on this podcast because I felt bad because I love them.
You can always count on me, Kayla, for that.
I really can. I love Jamaica and Jamaica loves me.
Yeah. Okay. So how did it hold up? Did it hold up, or is this nostalgia? I feel like I know where we're landing on this, but what do you guys think? When you watched it, was it what you?
Wait,
dreamed
didn't you have
or remember?
something?
I was going to say, did anything not
hold up?
Age well.
Oh, age well.
age
Age
well?
well.
Yeah. I think for me, it was the East German guy. His whole trope.
Yeah,
was
the
a
whole
little
trope.
Too much.
Yeah, I think so too.
You're gonna tuck them in, Blitzy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little much.
Watch out for turn 12. It's scary.
Yeah, that was a little too much. I think they did play like really, really hard into like that the Jamaicans weren't wanted there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of the way that they went about that, I felt like they could have been a little bit more clever. It was like so overt that I was like, it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
It was a little much. I mean, yeah. They needed to make you want to cheer for them a little more.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Like not like the rest of the characters in the movie.
And it
Yeah.
does make it work on a kid's level.
100%. And you have to take that
Yeah.
into account.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's for me. I think that didn't age well. Man, I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
That didn't age well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, like we said in the beginning, I don't know what Jamaicans feel about this
Yeah.
movie.
I don't know how Jamaicans feel about this movie.
Because obviously, they're playing up the accent and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how they feel about that. But I think they represented it really well. I mean, the cheering, everybody watching back at home.
that was cute.
I'm sure that was a real thing.
Oh, that was, yeah.
People
That felt
must have
real.
been watching and cheering their country on, cheering these guys on. So I think they were respectful still, even though maybe, playing up the accents, having an actor who had to put the accent on instead of an actual
Right.
Jamaican.
Right.
Was he from, I think Junior originally is from Trinidad and Tobago, so he's not Jamaican either. Yul Brynner is an American, and I don't know where DeReese's character is from.
I don't know
think
either.
he's Jamaican
But these
either.
guys, I don't remember seeing in anything else really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Dougie Doug stopped acting after.
I mean,
this,
bro,
think I
what
was
could
like-
you do after that? That would be better than Sanka. Like,
Well, yeah,
He's
you're
a
right.
comedian, yeah.
But I would kind of expect to see him somewhere.
bro, that was so funny. Like,
Well, yeah. And if anything, if you pay too close attention to some of the music, especially the sentimental stuff, I'm like, okay. But it works.
Yeah.
I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
All the moments I was like, meow.
I love it because it's like, yeah, make me cry. Like, you know, like,
Make
Like
me
you could
cry.
hear them like, this is the moment. Fade it in.
yes.
It's the
But
same
like,
music every
they
time.
were on it. They were on it, and you knew what was gonna happen. And it's drawing use for kids.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, it's like you got to make it obvious.
It was a really good like balance of cast. I thought the sincerity of it, while like you said, not taking itself too seriously, and
Yeah.
then using the music to kind of tie it together. It just really worked. Where some of these movies don't.
Yeah.
Going back.
I would say overall, this movie still slaps.
Oh yeah.
Still slaps. Like the nostalgia. I was afraid to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen it in a couple years, and I was like, dang, like I'm gonna come on this podcast and I'm
I've been
gonna
talking this up.
I've been talking this movie up for so long. But now I'm like, no, like
Yep.
this is a legitimate
It
good
is.
movie.
Yeah.
The message is timeless.
It is, man.
They take the time to go through the backstory of all the characters in a way where like there's actually nuanced and you see the things that they've had to overcome.
Yep.
So it's not like you're just plopped into their lives and you don't care about them. Like, and everyone has a unique story, a unique takeaway of what they're getting out of it, even though they're on a team, which I thought was an interesting balance, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about like this, you know, Jamaican pride, the team pride, but there was something individual for each of them that they got out of it.
Yeah. You know, I will say, so to that point, when you're in a team, the process of getting to the end goal, the whatever it is to accomplish,
Yeah.
the journey there is always better.
Peace be that journey.
Peace be the
It's
journey.
always better than the actual.
Yeah,
thing
it's
you're
so
doing.
true.
Like
so true.
you know, being on a team together, you know, the songwriting, the recording, all that kind of stuff, getting all that stuff ready to go, and then releasing it, and it's out there, and it's like, oh, we accomplished this thing as a team. The journey was,
Yeah.
like, not the best, better than, but it was, the journey was like awesome
Yep.
in itself, and it just makes you want to do that again and again and again. So,
Bob on track.
yep, Bob on track. Let's
Bob
do it
on
again.
track, man.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Peace be the journey.
Peace,
Peace
be that
be that
journey.
journey.
All right. Well, everybody, let us know what you think. There is a poll below. You can, in fact, scroll to the poll, or you can drop in the comments and let us know what you think about this movie. I'm especially curious if anybody hasn't seen it yet and watches
Yeah.
it. I highly recommend. Kid, adult, you
Yep.
don't have to be any
I think it holds
particular
up.
age.
I don't think it's nostalgia. I think if you've seen this before, definitely you have a nostalgia to it, and you weren't wrong. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So all those links are wdyt.show. And you can find that there. Okay, one last thing before we close things off today, Kayla and Josue, is now, if you had to do what is maybe the most egregious thing, and you were in charge of the sequel for Cool Runnings
Ooh.
in 2025,
Dang.
okay? You have full creative control. Give me your best pitch for Cooler Runnings. Okay, I want to know
Cooler running.
the cast,
Cooler
what's the
Runnings.
plot, what's the theme, like how are you going to do this? Because some sequels will work, but most often, and they haven't touched this,
Wow.
and I feel like it's inadvisable. You're responsible.
If we do this and we have a great idea and it becomes a movie,
They owe us money.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Gosh, how much time do we have to think?
None.
So something that I think is a non-negotiable
Yeah.
is that the main character I think should be Doris's son, because there is that family lineage,
Yeah.
right? Where John Candy's character originally was working with his father,
Yeah.
wanted to carry that out, never got to, did it with Doris. So there should be some kind of spin-off
Yeah.
with his son.
Bobsledding? I mean, it's got
No.
No.
I don't think it should be
Ooh.
because it was the thing that tried to do but couldn't do,
So
right?
the son is at the Olympic tryouts. He crashes his bobsled,
And then he
now he's
becomes
gotta
a
do the Summer
sprinter.
Olympics.
Now I got
Pole
us.
vaulting.
Well, would it be his son or at this point, would it be his grandson? Because, you know, they're 20 years old when
Well,
they're in the
yeah,
Olympics.
you're right.
Okay, fine. It can be his grandson.
2025, if you're trying to go anyway.
Who's
Yeah.
the inspiring older figure? If it's
I like
not
I like that though. I like the family lineage thing. I echo that. I think that would be a good place to start. The coach.
it can't be Doris. I think
The coach has to be Sanka.
I was gonna say that.
The coach is
It has to be Sanka.
The coach is Sanka.
What's he
or like-
doing? What's he doing? So Irv gave up on life, right? He's in a bar. What's Sanka's journey? Where does he end up when we find him again?
I think Sanka owns a bar
You do?
and something fun still, something of his own, like a family restaurant or a family bar and something.
What if he
Got
owns
a bunch of kids all running around and then like, hey, I'm Doris's grandson and I need to do this thing. And you were with them, you know how to, like, we need inspiration like you inspired my grandfather. And he's, but yeah, I'm old, I got kids, you don't want me, I'm silly, whatever, da, da, da. And there's that whole arc too of like, no, you can actually, do this.
I could see that. I could see that, especially if his life ends up going back to being like all about him.
Yeah.
Like I could picture him like using the, money that he's earned from like Olympic days to like hit the whole restaurant is like themed around him. And
Sanka's
there's like
world famous eggs.
Yeah. Yes. It's a brunch place. And like there's pictures of him on the wall with his lucky egg.
And the guys working in like the
Oh my
restaurant, and the bar
gosh.
are the kids that were his push cart kids.
I thought you were gonna say they were all wearing the leotard.
No.
So this is going to be the thing that breaks him is going to be that his lucky egg breaks. That's going to be what it is. So then he has
It's
this
like-
midlife crisis.
It's been on a shelf.
It's like
Yes.
all black and brown in a case.
Yes. And he's like, well, I can't do anything now because I don't have my lucky
Somebody
egg.
knocks his shelf over, and then his whole business starts just tanking.
Yes.
Everything's going wrong.
Yes. And then he needs Doris's grandson to be like, no, like Grandpa Sanka, like you can still do it. Like
Yep.
whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I think what it would actually be is Disney would have done like a Ladybugs or some sort of a kid themed thing where Sanka comes back and he's like the coach of the pushcart team.
Yeah.
And it would have been terrible.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
That would have been
It
terrible.
would have been like,
Straight to VHS.
oh yeah, it would have been like, that's a nice thought. Please don't ever do that again. Like, yeah.
Somebody wrote it.
Somebody did.
The script is out
Love
there.
that for them.
That's so funny. But what would the sport be if it's not winter?
I'm kind of into this restaurant themed idea. He's franchising Sanka's.
Maybe it should be like some kind of like cooking bake-off show.
What are you trying to do? Open a jerk chicken restaurant in Alberta, Canada?
No, he's bringing poutine to Jamaica.
Oh my gosh.
He the food he loved while he was in Canada. He's bringing it back. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, Disney, if you're listening, we're available for script meetings.
Yes,
Just promise us that the egg will be in there somewhere.
The
exactly.
lucky egg.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. I want to. We haven't talked about this yet about what's next. But folks, I have an idea.
All right, here we go.
I have something that is deeply nostalgic for me.
Okay.
That I feel like could be great or terrible. I think on the surface, it's bad news.
Oh,
But I think if you just absorb it, this is one of the. You're gonna have to let the kids. Which was his face.
it can't be
I'm
any.
scared.
It can't be any worse than Alice in the Looking Glass.
I don't think it is, but it's in the same oeuvre. Okay.
Oeuvre.
Yeah. How familiar are you with the Chronicles of Narnia?
Pretty familiar.
Ish.
Okay. Have you ever watched the movie?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
All
But
of them.
which one?
All of them. I watched all of them.
But you mean the new ones. And
No.
I'm saying in the 1980s, there is a BBC made
Yes, there is.
Oh my god.
Lion, the
Yes,
Witch, and
there
the
is.
Wardrobe. And we're watching it. No sway. And
Here we go
everybody.
again, man.
I
Is this
can't.
put on by like ABC miniseries?
It's
type of
it's the
thing?
BBC.
Oh, BBC. Sorry, yeah.
So they
You said
all
that.
have legitimate British accents like C.S. Lewis.
Okay.
Mr. Beaver is in it.
Was it
Tumnus
all
the
done on a
Fawn.
soundstage and not actual?
No, they're really outside.
Okay, good.
At least for parts of it. There's an Aslan, the lion.
What year did you say this was done?
Oh, gee, I'm gonna have to look
I
it up.
can't
but
watch
it is-
that.
I
I
thought
hope
you
you
said
guys
60s.
enjoy.
What do you mean?
If you're telling me there's gonna be a lot. Aslan is in it,
Yeah.
and this is from the 80s.
Yep.
What is he gonna look like?
Oh, it's so good.
I feel like so good is probably more like so
dude,
bad.
Like, dressed up as a lion? That can't be good.
I'm picturing like when you do Wizard of Oz as a musical.
Oh, gosh.
I'll have to put a picture on the screen.
Oh,
for
okay.
everybody.
Maybe that's not terrible.
No, this is terrible.
1988.
That's terrible. I don't like that.
1988. That might be Prince Caspian.
They
No,
weren't. They weren't watching the Olympics then. If they were coming up with that.
Well, 1988. There have been many iterations of this. It is a beloved book. I will still read it like I would read it to my kids.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
So I can't wait.
You just can't do C.S. Lewis dirty like that, though.
Can't wait. I think it's good. As far as I remember, this is on rotation in the Abiad household. It was like on par with Cool Runnings.
All right. Well,
Okay.
let's do it.
So
Peace be the journey, guys.
Peace be the journey.
make you watch this and then talk about it. Everybody, please, if you have any other suggestions of what we could be watching, listening to, or eating for our next test kitchen, you can email those to
wdyt.show.
.show.
.show.
.show. Ideas specifically at wdyt.show or anything.
Or peace be the journey.
To the messenger.
To the messenger.
At wdyt.show. Yes. And thank you to everybody who has liked, subscribed, or given us 5 stars. You can literally add anything to the review. We don't care as long as it comes with 5 stars. So
Yep.
give us your favorite Sanka quote.
Wow.
Yep. Tell us about your
Lucky egg.
lucky egg. Yeah. What do you have as a lucky trinket?
I would like to know.
Let us know.
Yeah, wherever you guys listen. Well, thanks, Kayla. Where can people find you if they are looking for more
Oh my
from you?
gosh.
What are you
From
offering the
me?
world on social media right now?
Probably just Instagram. I don't post much.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kayla Garcia Neal. And that's pretty much it. And then a church.
Leading a rambunctious team of creatives.
That's right. The best team ever. Let's go. Fairfax Creatives.
I feel like, every sound check now. Bob on track.
That's gonna be.
Check. Bob on track.
That's
check,
right.
check.
I'm
1,
totally
2.
from-
1, 2.
That's a good one because it has plosives.
Bob on track.
Bob on, and then it has syllabants. Track. That's a good one. Remember our friend Josh Jones would always say jaundice on his mic for sound check.
I don't like that.
Bob on track is way better. I think it sets a better tone.
Yes, Bob on track is much better.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks, Kayla, for being here. Really
Thanks
appreciate
for
you
having
coming
me.
in. And
Yeah, thanks,
everybody,
Kayla.
we will talk to you next time on What Do You Think of This?
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.